Hello everybody, a warm welcome to the show. I'm Rebecca McLaughlin-Easton, and this week we're logging on to compute just how secure our data is. A little bit later on we'll explore what the UAE government is doing to best protect its population against cyber criminals at this time of heightened online activity.
It's very important for us to ensure that the nation is actually equipped with what they need as a awareness campaign.
But first, Salim Saeed has more on the individuals and the organizations looking to breach people's online security systems around the world.
As the number of internet users continues to rise, so has global cybercrime. Research group Cybersecurity Ventures predicts that cybercrime will cost the world $6 trillion annually by 2021, up from $3 trillion in 2015. A growing threat addressed by the World Economic Forum's annual meeting last year, which called for a united front against cybercrime and highlighted the need for global PPPs, or public-private partnerships. The COVID-19 pandemic, which has many working from home, has seen some hackers take advantage of the changing times. They're mainly targeting victims via email, using fear tactics or false financial promises to create a sense of urgency to respond. Then there's social media, with warnings that your account will be deleted due to fraudulent use within 24 hours if you don't act now, prompting many to click on a malicious link and give hackers access to personal information. For Ashraf in Abu Dhabi, it happened while trying to buy a chair online. In April, his $23 purchase on Wish.com was compromised, replaced with children's toys, and redirected to Algeria. As a result, Ashraf believes the culprit may have been a young person and says online platforms more than hackers are to blame.
The website should be secured. They shouldn't allow a child to hack. And then when there is such an incident, there should be there should be a sense of urgency. They don't have it.
Others in the Middle East have been a target of choice for hackers due to the perception of ill-equipped cybersecurity systems, says the CEO of UAE-based cyber solutions company Vol9. Relaxed capital control measures, he says, meaning the easy flow of money in and out of countries, is inviting to digital criminals.
Because once you hack a bank in a country where there's capital control, you can't get the money out. But if it's the case, for example, of the Middle East, where there are not as much capital restrictions, hackers would rather hack banks here in this region, transfer the money out to rogue accounts, and be able to, I'd say, collect their prize.
Worldwide, the number of phishing scams and URL attacks related to the COVID-19 virus jumped more than 220 times from February to March, according to the global solutions provider Trend Micro. And during the first quarter of 2020, the GCC recorded about 9,000 email spam attacks, the fourth highest in all of Asia. Among those regional countries, states Trend Micro, it was the UAE that led, with more than 3,000 COVID-19 related attacks. When it comes to targeting individuals, hackers tend to aim for the less tech-savvy for smaller sums of money. They often do this via SMS or WhatsApp messages containing fake prize notifications, then redirect people to a bogus website link to access their funds. To best protect themselves, says the CEO of Vol9, it's better that people assume they're always being hacked and take the utmost precautions.
Sometimes it's not about being targeted. Sometimes we have mass targeting campaigns where they'll just target, for example, all the vulnerable versions of Windows or all the vulnerable versions of Mac. Then your camera is compromised and you find someone looking through your laptop while you're in the shower or while in the bedroom. So always be paranoid. You really want to be a step ahead of hackers and never give them even an ounce of a chance to compromise you.
Being cybercrime conscious means not using public Wi-Fi while logging into personal accounts, and also selecting more private social media security settings. With stricter habits like these, says Muhammad, nearly 99% of hacking attempts can be stopped. This philosophy is also being applied to many countries in the Middle East, and some regional governments are stepping up their digital defenses, like the UAE, in a bid to keep cyber criminals at bay.
Digital trust. That's what the UAE government is keen to instill in the people who live in the Emirates. This as cyber safety has come under heightened scrutiny in recent months. Inspire Middle East takes a closer look at how real and present cyber threats are. Whilst big data, AI, blockchain, and the Internet of Things have positively disrupted many Middle East and North African societies, with these tech advancements have come increased security risks. Last month, the UAE launched its first national fraud awareness campaign in light of increased use of digital banking services during the COVID-19 pandemic. And in the wider cyber scam arena, certain individuals have fallen prey to so-called SIM jacking, identity theft, and data privacy hacks. In a bid to protect the UAE's IT infrastructure from risks and violations, plus improve cyber safety for residents, the UAE's National Computer Emergency Response Team was established. As part of the Telecommunications Regulatory Authority, the body responded to around 34,000 cyber attacks on federal entities in April, ranging from malware to phishing. For an update, I spoke directly to the TRA. Is it possible to gauge the level of digital trust amongst UAE residents right now? Because it's something that the TRA are very keen to increase.
As you know, many of the consumers tend to shop physically. And for such a shift that happens suddenly, there definitely should be a trusted agencies who can help and guide them towards choosing the right and the trusted digital platform for their day-to-day purchase. But when it comes to other government agencies, employees, it's very important for us to ensure that employees are equipped with all the knowledge and the know-how to use all these digital services responsibly and make themselves immune from any digital threat which arise.
What types of cybercrimes and online fraud have you noticed a particular spike in since the beginning of the pandemic?
We've noticed an increased amount of fake website and fraud website. We're trying to trick people into getting their sensitive credentials such as their banking account in order to compromise these accounts. It is very important for us to ensure that the nation is actually equipped with what they need as a awareness campaign, awareness program to be able to to identify the difference between the fake versus the real website.
Now, children are unfortunately a natural target for many cyber criminals. So what can families do to protect their loved ones, especially at this time of heightened digital activity with remote learning?
I think the Child Digital Safety Program is a great initiative for all of us. It's actually aiming to ensure a safer online experience, educating children as well as their parents on how to be safe when browsing the internet and avoiding any kind of threats to the children, such as cyberbullying. The government came up with a dedicated support lines. We call it a digital well-being support lines, which is targeting and ensuring that any urgent matters raised by the parents are actually addressed by the relevant government agencies.
Investing in data protective infrastructures is a priority for the UAE government, and Abu Dhabi's Hub 71, the tech ecosystem powered by Mubadala, has been selected by US data residency hosting platform In-Country as its Middle East headquarters. This means that the company is poised to capitalize on what Gartner predict will be year-on-year growth of 21% in the UAE's cloud market. The organization, which operates in more than 80 countries, including Egypt and Saudi Arabia, stores and protects data in its country of origin or citizenship. And this avoids a nation's data sitting in external jurisdictions like the US, China, or Europe, with differing security regulations to its own. As it continues to move towards digitization, plus expand its knowledge and technology initiatives, the UAE is revisiting its data protection regulations, which is wise, says In-Country's Khalid Lababidi. For with growth must come prudence.
I think there's always risks whenever you start to move from a really offline type of economy towards an online economy. I think one of the things that we have is we're starting to understand a little bit more about the cybersecurity risks, but also about the data residency risks that are involved. And what the government has really been doing here has really been at the forefront of making sure that they are there to protect their citizens by understanding where the data sits, but also putting into place lots of rules and regulations, but also initiatives to help us make sure that from a cybersecurity point of view, the citizens are also protected.
Talk to me about trends in spending. What are corporations and governments doing to protect the data of their people?
Here in the UAE, we've seen about 23 billion dirhams worth of spending on technology and IT spend over the last year. I think those numbers are going to be constantly increasing, and that's always a great thing to be done to make sure that we protect the citizens' data. With that said, we continuously see spending worldwide in terms of IT to always be on the rise, and I think the latest figure that we've noticed is somewhere in the range of about 12%.
And as regional societies continue to evolve and digitize, some old online security problems remain and some new data ones are arising, presenting a challenge perhaps to MENA companies and governments in the years ahead who want residents, employees and consumers to consider digital trust a digital must. Well, it's now time for us to log off and shut down this online crime edition of Inspire Middle East. We very much hope that you enjoyed the show, and do catch all of our episodes online at Euronews.com. Before I leave you with some inspiring techie posts that we liked on Instagram this week, just let me say, stay safe, stay home, and I'll see you next time. Keen coder Roxana is asking computer programmers to come together for the common good during the pandemic. And Hamid from Egypt posted a picture of a technological space he calls his world.